Imagine a potato stuffed with Brunswick stew. Add your favorite barbecue meat and have it topped with cheese and barbecue sauce. That is the Hogzilla, exclusively found at Babe's Smokehouse. Today we visit Babe's Smokehouse, located in the Savannah State Farmers Market. And we sit down with Sam Tompkins to hear his tale. This is Tales from the Pit. We've made it here to Babe's Smokehouse, and we're here with Sam to talk about his restaurant. Thank you for having us here.
You're welcome.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about this place?
It's something that I've kind of retired into, I guess would be a better term for it. We opened a small barbecue restaurant down the street, and we quickly outgrew it. I'm an older guy, and we're looking to slow down a little bit from the restaurant business. Never done barbecue before. My wife evidently watches too much Food Network, or she thought it would be cute or fun to have a little barbecue place, and I quickly learned there's a lot of work to it, and it takes a long time and a lot of hours to cook the meat, cook it right.
Yeah.
And but I fell in love with it. I like it. I enjoy it. I like to make people happy. I like seeing people enjoy what we do. I got a good group of people, and they all work hard together.
Okay. One of the things that I was talking earlier with some of your employees, and they said this is a family. Like, this isn't, they're brothers and sisters, not coworkers.
It's always been that way. I've been in the bar and restaurant business for probably close to 40 years. All of my employees, and I've had a dozen different places, and all of my employees have been treated like family. And that's how I treat them. That's how I want them to be. And I've really got an extended family of probably 1,000 people out there, out and around. If I had a reunion, it wouldn't fit in here.
Yeah.
So, but that's how we like to run stuff, and that's how we feel about them.
Okay. So you said you had previous restaurant experience before this.
Yes.
What cuisine? What sort of things you had?
Different kinds. We did a lot of. Initially, was like nightclubs, big nightclubs. Me and my brother. My brother's name is Tommy, and we did a lot of this together. We inherited it from my dad, Steve, and we took over when we were young, and we had several places, but we ended up kind of an all-American type sports bar, and we served everything from wings to hamburgers to salads to chicken fingers. Always had live entertainment, dancing, and that type of stuff, and usually in an area that was, very popular, and we did well for quite a few years and at quite a few places, and then we kind of got rid of everything and decided to slow down a little bit. We're getting up there in age, and I went the barbecue route, and my wife helps me here. She makes all our desserts. She's really good at cakes and different desserts that we make, and we just enjoy working together and being here with the rest of our extended family, and it's a fun thing to do, and it's fun to see the people's faces and see the smiles on people's faces when they get something they like and enjoy, and as we talked earlier, people are in love with barbecue, and I never realized that until I opened this place about 10 years ago.
What is something, so you come from restaurants and nightclubs and that sort of thing. What was important from that world and that industry to bring here?
Making sure that you have a good product and people enjoy it and people like it, and it's got to be consistent. Be good to your people, make sure they're happy here, and we go back to our employees being treated like family. We treat our customers like their family. We really do. And there are people coming here and they're like, it's like they know us, you know what I mean? And it's just, and we treat them that way. When they come in, and there's an old thing I do. I've always done this since we've been here in the barbecue restaurant, and no matter if I don't even know who the people are, they get up to walk out the door, and I automatically say, "See you tomorrow." And it's kind of a joke, but it's not, you know. And they always turn around and smile. They always, you know, they smile and think it's funny, but they usually come back. And it's just, you got to be good to people, and you got to give them a good product. You got to get it to them in a timely fashion. Lunchtime is important for people not to be stressed out about, you know, are they going to get their food fast enough where they can get back to work? And it's a combination of a lot of different things.
So during your trial and error kind of thing, is there any fun story of that? Was there a massive failure or a massive success that surprised you?
The one thing I'll tell you, we're in Savannah, Georgia. I've lived here all my life. We opened the first barbecue restaurant down the road 10 years ago. And I had never eaten brisket, okay? I'd heard of it, but I've never eaten it. It's really not a Southern thing. It's a Texas or Midwest thing, evidently, because I'd never eaten it. I had heard of it. And most of the barbecue restaurants around here that I grew up with didn't have brisket. But we did get people talking about it, so we put it on the menu. And I could not cook it. I bought a very expensive case of brisket, and I cooked half of it, and it wasn't cooked enough. When I finished cooking it, I took it off and sliced it all up, and it was stretchy and chewy. I said, that's not good.
Yeah.
And then I cooked the other half, and I said, well, I'm going to make sure this is cooked long enough. So I cooked it, and it was dry, tough, and not good, falling apart. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. So at that point in Savannah, Georgia, 10 years ago, nobody ate brisket. So I was buying brisket from one of my wholesale companies. It was already cooked and sliced, and we just kept it on hand. So if I got an order for it, we would have it. And we started out initially selling, I might sell 2 or 3 orders a day. And for some reason, I don't know what spurred this, but within about 2 or 3 months, we were selling, the brisket was picking up and slowly catching up to the pork that we were selling. And that was our mainstay. And I'm like, we can't keep buying the brisket the way we're buying it. I've got to figure out how to cook it. So I went to the internet again, Google, and just read up and learned as much as I could. And I bought another case, and bam, I got it. I mean, the first one I cooked, I listened to what some of the guys that were cooking it were saying, and I figured it out. And it's not really a time. It's not really a temperature. You can cook it from 250 or 225, I guess, maybe to 300 if you want. You cook it whatever temperature you want to cook it. You cook it as long as you, like I said, it's not time. You don't cook it by time. I cook it by feel. And I can tell by taking a long thermometer, and I'll test it. And when I can stick that thermometer in several places in that brisket, and it's not grabbing and it's like sticking it in butter, it's time to take it off, let it cool down. And if you do that, I hate to give my secret away,
yeah,
but that's it. It's that simple, and that's what works.
Okay,
that's what works.
Well, you know, one of the things that we want to do out of this series is also teach, right? So part of that is what a viewer at home could do, all right, if they're starting to cook brisket or whatever, and a tip that they can have. And so it's always interesting, right? Because I cooked my first brisket a few weeks ago, and it turned out okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything great, but you know, it's definitely an experiment.
Yeah.
So many variables, and it's what's interesting about it is how much, like, the recipes aren't hard, right? Like they're not these massive complex things, but there's little nuances everywhere.
Yeah, and that's what makes it neat, because people who cook at home, like yourself, or you have the opportunity to give it your own little flair. what you like. You know, you can personalize it and do it and season it the way you want to season it. The cooking process is going to be the same always. And the little trick with a thermometer is the best way I can tell you to do it. And our other secret is we do the same thing with the butts. We'll smoke the brisket for a good 7 hours, 6 to 8 hours, just depending on the size of it. It gets nice and dark, and then we wrap it. Again, we're preserving the moisture. And when it's wrapped, it kind of steams in its own juices, and that fat and everything that's in there kind of permeates up into the meat, and it just increases the flavor and it keeps it moist. And that's when, after about 2 or 3 hours, and I'm checking it, I'll poke a couple little holes, not a lot because I don't want it all run out.
Right.
And when it's just like butter, I pull them off and let them cool down. So, and the brisket, I could serve it when I pulled it off, but generally, if you have ever eaten brisket right off the grill, it's delicious. But for serving it high volume and portioning it up, you can't. It's really hard to portion when it's that hot because it just starts falling apart. If I had a carbon station, I could set it up at a carbon station, of course, to do it.
Yeah.
But we don't have the time to do that here because we get bombarded for about 3 hours nonstop. So I cool it down. Next morning I come in, I pull the brisket I cooked out, and it's kind of hard and cold, and I slice it thin and portion it out.
Yeah.
And then we reheat it per order. And that just seems to be the best way for us to do it. But back to what you were saying as far as doing it, people doing it at home, they can do it any way they want it. They can season it how they want it. The important thing is they have to cook it right. I mean, there's only one way to cook it.
Yeah.
And I do the same thing with the butts. And brisket, our ribs, we wrap our ribs at the last hour of the ribs, we wrap those in foil tight where they're sealed. And they just literally fall off the bone when you eat them. So, and people love it. And we don't mess around with the little baby backs or the St. Louis cut. You go to a rib from here, you're getting a spare rib. You're getting the whole deal, and that's what people want to see. In our area, our people do. They want a big old rib, so that's what we give them.
Yeah. So what are your earliest memories of barbecue?
I guess my earliest memories would be growing up and watching my dad cook barbecue on a charcoal grill. I mean, I guess everybody cooked on charcoal back then. I don't want to date myself, but I'm an old man, and I can remember. I think the first time there weren't gas grills. I don't remember gas grills. I just remember charcoal. I don't remember any wood smokers. And my dad didn't do barbecue like I do it now. You know, he was usually cooking steaks or hamburgers, I guess. You know, but yeah, me and my brother running around in a hot summer with probably no shoes and no shirt on. You know, trying to sneak a hamburger off the grill or a hot dog. But that's probably my earliest memories. So.
Okay. And giving you an opportunity just to say why should someone come check out this place?
It's good barbecue. It's really good. People are great. I'm gonna treat them like family, and I think they'll really enjoy it. And I'll love to see them with a smile on their face, and I'd like to see them come back. And it happens every day. It happens every day. I meet new people every day.
Okay. Well, thank you for sitting down with us and talking with us. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go back into the kitchen and take a look at some of the food being made. And we will be back to taste it in just a bit.
So we smoke them anywhere from 10 to 12 hours. We cook these daily.
Okay.
We also cook brisket, but right now with this coronavirus going on, it's hard to get brisket.
Yeah.
It's so high. But this is what we cook. We cook this every day.
So what?
And then we make our own rub. Yeah. You got pepper, you got granulated garlic, you got salt, you got brown sugar, and paprika.
Okay.
I'm one of the cooks here. I've been cooking for these people for 10 years.
Yeah.
Just what we do every day.
Okay.
After a while, we'll let it smoke till it gets a certain color.
Yeah.
Crisp. And then we'll wrap it in foil.
Okay.
and then we'll let it smoke the rest of the way.
So is that for the stall? Like using it for the stall, as they call it? Like, yeah, where it like cooks to a temperature and then it stalls?
No.
Or
You just let it cook and let it darken up a little bit.
Okay.
And you always cook your meat fat side up because that's where all your flavor comes.
Okay.
See all the fat on top?
Yeah.
It always falls down. It comes, it runs through the meat.
Yeah.
That's where you get your flavor from. Like I said, we put the rub on it on both sides. We let them smoke for a couple hours. I put them on at truck came here late this morning, so it got here at 7. They went on about 7:15. So about 3 o'clock, I'll wrap them. I'll load the grill up, and then I'll come back like every hour or so.
Okay.
Check it. But normally, I take them off about 7:30 at night.
Okay. It's a passion.
Yeah, man.
It's a love. So.
Yeah. I've been doing it for 10 years, so apparently I'm doing something right if I stay at the job here.
Yeah.
My cooking is for everybody in the grill.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the meat station, we got the salad station, we got the fry station, then we got the grill station.
Yeah.
But everybody as a whole make this thing work together as a family.
Yeah.
We're not friends, we all brothers and sisters. And that old man there, he is our old daddy.
He's going to go bust up.
Oh, he gonna do it?
Give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Now I got another tickets, which is called the double plate. Cut it real thin like this, so you get a better texture and flavor.
Okay. Why is that? Like, what does a cutting thin do? Just to cut out the fibers, or what?
No, we cut the chicken up so it thins it out so it eat easier.
It makes it more tender and easy to eat, and
Okay.
it makes a better sandwich.
That, we'll put that there.
So how long have you been cooking?
We smoke
Me?
that chicken.
Yeah.
I've been cooking for probably 45 years.
Okay. All right.
I've been doing it for like 45. Now we get some pork.
Hey, George, put chicken in that hog.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is called a double plate.
Double plates, 2 meats, 2 sides.
Go over here. Put cheese.
Then we put some Brunswick stew on top of it.
Then we put some Brunswick stew.
We're going.
Go back.
Okay.
That's good. And chop. This is one of our best sellers right here, the Hogzilla.
Okay.
It's a loaded potato. Your choice of meat.
Nice.
And it takes 2 days to really eat it because it's big and good.
So we're back. We were just in the kitchen looking at how this food was made, and this food smells delicious. And we're back here with Sam, who's going to tell us more about what it is that I have in front of me.
You have a little sampling of several things from the menu. The larger plate is what we call our double plate, which features 2 of our meats and 2 of our sides. You get your choice. We have what is called a Hogzilla on this plate, which is a giant 40-count baked potato, and you get your choice of meats in that one. You can get chicken, brisket, sausage, pork. Your choice again.
And this has Brunswick stew in it too, right?
This comes with cheddar cheese, Brunswick stew, and then of course the meat of your choice. We top it with some sauce. You can get it sauce on or sauce on the side. Our fresh sausage. This sausage is made outside Augusta, Georgia, at Knight's Butchers. They make a very good fresh sausage. We get a hot version and a mild version. It's being served with our coleslaw, which is it's in-house made. Most of our stuff is in-house made from our own recipes. We have a few other items on the menu. We have a banana pudding dessert. We have, of course, there's no ribs here, but we do offer delicious ribs. We do have a slight problem with our ribs that they fall off the bone a little bit, but most people don't have a problem with that.
No, that's not much of a complaint.
Yes, and everything is smoked a little bit differently than the others. It's all smoked on pecan wood. We virtually use 99% pecan wood. We might mix in a little cherry. That's about it. Times vary on which meat, how long it's cooked, and actually how we prepare it. And from the rub that we put on it and we start with to, we have a spray that we spray it down during the cooking process. And then we have certain ways that we finish off each particular item that's on the smoker.
Okay.
But it's pretty basic. It's your basic Southern barbecue.
Yeah.
Not much different than anywhere else. The biggest difference is going to be the sauces, depending on where you go.
Yeah. So what would you say is your biggest seller here?
Probably the chopped pork. The chopped pork's probably the biggest seller. It's the ribs are a big seller. The pork sells more because the ribs are a little more expensive, and most of our business is lunch.
Okay.
We're in an industrial area in a farmer's market. And we are very, very busy during lunch, Monday through Friday. Saturdays lunches are decent. There's not a lot of dinner business just because of the nature of the area we're in and it being an industrial area. There's not a lot of people around here at night. But again, we moved from right down the street. We had a little small place we opened 10 years ago, about 100 yards down the road here, and it only had 8 tables.
Okay.
And we quickly had people lined up out the door across the parking lot trying to get in.
Yeah.
So we obviously had to make a move to get some more room. And we do quite a bit of catering and pick up and delivery, takeouts and stuff like that. But the dining room turns over, fills up and turns over nicely during lunch.
I mean, this meat's just delicious. I mean, it's very, very tender. The sauce is good. It's, I don't know, it's a little, I don't know if it's the smoke from the meat or the smoke from the sauce, but it complements it very well.
Yeah, well, the sauce doesn't have any smoke. The meat, like I said earlier, is that the meat is strictly smoked with pecan.
Okay.
What we do is we smoke all of our meat for several hours, and then we end it with foil wrap, which preserves some of the moisture and keeps the meat from drying out. I know a lot of places don't do that. Some do. For us, it works out better for us because we like the fact that our meat stays moist and doesn't dry out. And it speeds up the cooking process a little bit. Okay. But we make sure we get just the right amount of smoke and not too much. It's not something you want to be tasting the rest of your evening. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and that's kind of why we went away from hickory a little bit. Oak. For me, the smokiness of oak is a little stronger than the pecan, and it lasts a little longer. And I've always preferred the pecan. And I've been doing this for about 10 years. I was in the bar and restaurant business for 40 years, and never did barbecue commercially before. I've always done it, all my life, and I've been pretty good at it. But it's funny, when I opened my first barbecue restaurant 10 years ago right down the road, I quickly learned how fanatical people are about barbecue. Yeah. I mean, and I tell people all the time, it's not even that people love barbecue. People are in love with barbecue. They really are. It's just, they come in and they're just overwhelmed by it, and they go on and on about how good it is. And it kind of surprised me at first. And I had people coming in that just saw smoke. They said, we saw smoke and we had to come in, and I hear that story a lot. I guess a lot of people just travel around looking for little small barbecue places that are doing the real thing, and cooking it. Yeah.
So tell us more. So the sausage is from up the road.
It's from outside of Augusta, Georgia, in Keysville, and it's called Knight's Butchers, and they make the sausage. And it's just, we tried to make our own. We came close, but it's a lot of work. Yeah. And we couldn't duplicate what they're making for us, and,
Yeah, it was
and they do a
delicious.
good job. And it is really good. Yes, I love the sausage.
Yeah.
The sauce is a different story altogether. All of this, to me, getting into this barbecue commercially, not really, well, I say commercially, retail, was a big experiment. I mean, I felt like a mad scientist when I started doing this. You know, the sauce itself, I spent 2 or 3 weekends in my kitchen at home, and my kitchen looked like a laboratory. I had little cups everywhere and all types of seasonings, and I just kept, taking notes and mixing stuff and doing this and that, and came up with what I really liked. And people love it. People love our sauce. I don't sell it outside of the restaurant here. Probably one day I will. We've spun off from that regular sauce to a hot sauce. We make a really, I'll let you try that. We have a really good, what I call a barbecue vinaigrette, and it's red wine vinaigrette dressing mixed with our barbecue sauce, and it's really good.
The coleslaw is really good. It's a different finish on it. And you guys make it in-house daily?
Yes.
Okay. Any big secrets to it, or anything
No,
that just
again, most of the stuff is pretty basic. I guess the one ingredient that it's a sweet slaw, and it's made with it's just really shredded cabbage and salad cubes and a couple of seasonings and sugar.
and have Brunswick stew?
We make that from scratch also.
Okay.
Again, that was another science project by the mad scientist, and it's typical of most Brunswick stews, I think. I like ours a little bit loose. I don't like it really, really, really thick. But it's simple,
Yeah.
corn, potatoes, pork, and several seasonings.
Now, what are you using the butt for the
Yeah.
meat, or are you using the
We
ribs?
use the chopped pork.
Okay. It's really good. It has a little tangy finish on the end of it.
It has our sauce in it, of course. It's got a little bit of it. It's got a little bit of everything. A little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, our sauce, vinegar.
There's a really good mixture between the meat and the potato and the Brunswick stew. This is a really good. I can see why people like this. This is
That's a real popular one. We sell a couple dozen of those every lunch. That wasn't originally on the menu. Our menu always evolves a little bit. If you watch probably a lot of barbecue shows and stuff on TV, and I do too. And I'm always getting ideas and coming back here and going, hey, this is what we need to do. We have a really good jumbo wing we make. We smoke it for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
To where it's almost overcooked, where it's coming apart.
Yeah.
And then we cool it down. And then when we get an order, we drop it in a deep fryer for just about a minute or two, just to pop it back and give it a little crispness on the outside. And then we have a special wing sauce. It's kind of a sweet and spicy version of our barbecue sauce, and people love that. It's one of my best inventions, I guess.
Well, thank you for having us here. Thank you for letting us taste this food and showcase this food.
Sure.
And I'm going to continue eating this food, and we'll see you back in a bit. Want more Tales from the Pit? For extended content, in-depth coverage, and behind the scenes, get connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. Today we visited Babe's Smokehouse, where we learned about their Hogzilla, as well as it's never too late to start a new career. I want to thank Sam Tompkins for sitting down and talking with us, and I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Tales from the Pit.